Hosea 7 through 10. When I would heal Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim is uncovered, also the wickedness of Samaria, for they commit falsehood, and the thief enters in, and the gang of robbers ravages outside. They do not say in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness, nor their deeds have surrounded them. They are before my face, they make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers. They are burning like an oven that the baker stops stirring, for the kneading of the dough until it is leavened. In the day of our king, the princes made themselves sick with the heat of wine. He joined his hand with mockers, for they have prepared their heart like an oven. While they lie in wait, their baker sleeps all the night. In the morning it burns as a flaming fire. For they are all hot as an oven, and devour their judges. All their kings have fallen. There is no one among them who calls to me. Ephraim, he mixes himself among the nations. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he does not realize it. Indeed, gray hairs are here and there on him, and he does not realize it. The pride of Israel testifies to his face, yet they have not returned to Yahweh their God, nor sought him for all this. Ephraim is like a dove, easily deceived and without understanding. They call to Egypt and they go to Assyria. When they go, I will spread my net on them. I will bring them down like the birds of the sky. I will chastise them as their congregation has heard. Woe to them, for they have wandered from me. Destruction to them, for they have trespassed against me. Though I would redeem them, yet they have spoken lies against me. They have not cried to me with their heart, but they wail on their beds. They assemble themselves for grain and new wine. They turn away from me. Though I have taught and strengthened their arms, yet they plot evil against me. They turn, but not to the Most High. They are like a deceitful bow. Their princes will fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue. This will be their desertion in the land of Egypt. But the shofar to your lips, something like an eagle, is over the house of Yahweh, because they have broken my covenant and rebelled against my Torah. They cry to me, my God, we, Israel, know you. Israel has cast off that which is good. The enemy will pursue them. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I did not approve. Of their silver and their gold, they have made themselves idols, that they may be cut off. Let Samaria throw out his calf idol. My anger burns against them. How long will it be until they are capable of purity? For this is even from Israel. The workman made it, and it is no God. Indeed, the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they sow the wind, and they will reap the whirlwind. He has no standing grain, and stalk will yield no head. If it does yield, strangers will swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now they are among the nations like a worthless thing. For they have gone up to Assyria like a wild donkey wandering alone. Ephraim has hired lovers for himself, but although they sold themselves among the nations, I will now gather them, and they begin to waste away because the oppression of the king of mighty ones. Because Ephraim has multiplied altars for sinning, they became for him altars for sinning. I wrote for him the many things of my Torah, but they were regarded as a strange thing. As for the sacrifices of my offerings, they sacrifice meat and eat it, but Yahweh does not accept them. Nor he will remember their iniquity and punish their sins. They will return to Egypt. For Israel has forgotten his maker and built palaces, and Judah has multiplied fortified cities, but I will send a fire on his cities, and it will devour its fortresses. Do not rejoice, O Israel, to jubilation like the nations, for you were unfaithful to your God. You love the wages of the prostitute at every grain threshing floor. The threshing floor and the winepress will not feed them, and the new wine will fail her. They will not dwell in the land of Yahweh. But Ephraim will return to Egypt, and they will eat unclean food in Assyria. They will pour out old wine offerings to Yahweh, neither will they be pleasing to him. Their sacrifice will be to them like the bread of the mourners. All who eat of it will be polluted. For their bread will not be for their appetite. I will not come into the house of Yahweh. What will you do in the day of solemn assembly, and the day of the feast of Yahweh? For behold, they have gone away from destruction. Egypt will gather them up. Memphis will bury them. Nettles will possess their pleasant things of silver. Thorns will be in their tents. The day of punishment have come. The days of reckoning have come. Let Israel know. The prophet is a fool. The man of spirit is mad. Because of the multitude of your iniquity and great hatred, Ephraim is a watchman with my God, a prophet. A fowler's snare is on all his ways, an enmity in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves in the days of Gibeah. He will remember their iniquity. He will punish them for their sins. I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at its first season. But they became to Baal Peor, and consecrated themselves to the shameful thing, and became abominable like that which they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory will fly away like a bird. There will be no birth, no one with child, and no conception. Though they bring up their children, yet I will bereave them, so that not a man shall be left. Indeed, woe also to them when I depart from them. I have seen Ephraim like Tyre, planted in a pleasant place. But Ephraim will bring out his children to the murderer. Give them Yahweh. What will you give? Give them miscarrying womb and dry breasts. All their wickedness is in Gilgal, for there I hated them. Because of the wickedness of their deeds, I will drive them out of my house. I will love them no more. All their princes are rebels. Ephraim is struck. Their root has dried up. They will bear no fruit. Even though they give birth, yet I will kill the beloved ones of their womb. My God has cast them away. My God will cast them away, because they did not listen to him, and they will be wanderers among the nations. Israel is a luxuriant vine that produces his fruit. According to the abundance of his fruit, he has multiplied his altars. As their land has prospered, they have adorned their sacred stones. Their heart is divided. Now they will be found guilty. He will demolish their altars, and he will destroy their sacred stones. Surely now they will say, we have no king, for we do not fear Yahweh. And the king, what can he do for us? They make promises, swearing falsely and making covenants. Therefore judgments spring up like poisonous weeds in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Samaria will be in the terror of the calves of Beth Aven, for its people will mourn over it, along with its priests who rejoiced over it, for its glory, because it has departed from it. It also will be carried to Assyria for a present to a great king. Ephraim will receive shame, and Israel be ashamed of its own counsel. Samaria and his king float away, like a twig on the water. The high places also of Aven and the sin of Israel will be destroyed. Thorn and thistle will come up on their altars. They will tell the mountains, cover us, and the hills, fall on us. Israel, you have sinned from the days of Gibeah. There they remain. The battle against the children of iniquity does not overtake them in Gibeah. When it is my desire, I will chastise them. The nations will be gathered against them. When they are bound to their two transgressions, Ephraim is trained heifer that loves to thresh. So I'll put a yoke on her beautiful neck. I will set a rider on Ephraim. Judah will plow, and Jacob will break its clods. Sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap according to kindness, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek Yahweh, until he comes and rains righteousness on you. You have plowed the wickedness, you have reaped iniquity, you have eaten the fruit of lies, for you have trusted in your way, in the multitude of the mighty men. Therefore the battle roar will rise among your people, and all your fortresses will be destroyed. And Shelman destroyed Beth Arbel in the day of battle. The mother was dashed in pieces with her children, so Bethel will do to you because of your great wickedness. At daybreak the king of Israel will be destroyed.